Okay. Each piece represents 25% of the data, because if the box and whisker plot is completely all together 100%, and we break it apart into 4 sections, what's 100 divided by 4? 25%. So a box and whisker tells us how our data is spread, and each piece of the box and whisker represents 25%. So if we look, this first whisker right here represents 25%. The first part of the box right here represents 25%. The last part of the box represents another 25%, and this final whisker right here represents 25%. I want you to label that on your paper, because today we're going to look at interpreting box and whisker plots, pulling information off of it. So 6th grade taught you how to draw box and whiskers and construct them. 7th grade is interpreting and pulling information from the box and whisker. On your paper, you need to label all of the percents like I have on the screen, because you're going to need that today as we do our work. Okay, so if each piece represents 25%, if we look here, the box then represents what percent altogether? 50%. The box makes up 50% of our information. Okay, 50%. What if I go from the median, the second quartile, all the way to our maximum? What would that percent be? 50%. What if I go from the upper quartile all the way over to the minimum, 75%? Those are some of the things we're going to do today. Now, let's make it more realistic. Let me give you a double box and whisker plot, because this is more than likely what you will see in order to interpret data from a box and whisker. Last year, I took some scores from 2 of my classes, Class A and Class B. This was on one particular test. So I took everybody's grade, put them in order from least to greatest, found the median of my lower numbers, the median of my upper numbers, took my minimum and my maximum, and I made the first box and whisker. Then another class, I took the same test scores from a different group of kids, put them in order from least to greatest, found my median, then I found my lower median, my upper median, my minimum, and my maximum to make the box and whisker for Class B. Okay? So, my question to you is, which class would you rather be in? Class A or Class B? Class B. Why Class B? They have higher grades. Class A, tell me a little bit about the performance of Class A. How did those kids do? Did anybody pass? Everybody made beneath a what? A 60. No one in Class A made above a 60. Who was the lowest? What was the lowest score in Class B? 40. Class B. Class B. What's the lowest score in Class B? Looks right here, it's about what? 20. What was the highest score for Class B? 100. Good. Okay, Class A, what was the highest grade? 60. Class A, what was the lowest grade? 35. About 35, right? Okay, now, if we look at Class B, if we start here, what percent of the kids in Class B made a 60 or higher? 60% or higher. What percent in Class B? How did you get 75%? This is 25, this is, and this is. So that gives us 75%. Okay, good. Now, what percent of the kids scored 90 or higher in Class B? 25%. That will be a fourth. Just a fourth of the kids scored an A. Think it was a hard test if only a fourth of those kids scored an A? Possibly. How many of these kids scored 80 and higher? 50, half of them scored B and higher. That's pretty good, isn't it? Okay? So look how big this space is. Look at how many kids fell in here and down to here. Okay? Alright, so the class we want to be in is Class B. Class B pretty much resembles a typical 7th grade classroom. You're going to have some kids who just don't get it because we learn at different rates. Okay, we don't all learn at the same pace. Some of us can hear it one time and we have it. Some of us need to hear it multiple times before we understand it. Okay? Alright, so now I want us to look at, we're going to do an assignment together. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to complete this sheet. And then we're going to talk about it and go over it together. Okay. Number 1, what is the median? What did you get for your median? 20. Good. Okay, next, number 2, what is the lower quartile? 18. Let me blow this up a little bit. The lower quartile is right here. That's 18. What's the upper quartile? 22. Good. 22. What is the minimum value? 17. This is your minimum value is here. Okay. What is the maximum value? No, it's 24 is way over here. It's a little bit over from 23.16. That's a 6. So 23.16. The above 5 values make up a what? What's that chart? What's that called? I heard it. Yes, box and whisker plot. Or I want you to put this down too. The 5-number summary. Because it takes 5 numbers to make it. You have lower quartile, upper quartile, median, minimum, and maximum. Okay, next, what is the range of the data? How do we find the range? What do I use to find the range? How do you find the range? Not the interquartile range, the regular range. What would I use? What numbers? The maximum and the minimum. And what do I do with those two numbers? Subtract. So what is my maximum? What was the maximum? So 23.16 was the maximum. Okay, what was the minimum? 17. And we are subtracting these two, correct? what you get. Did you get 6.16? All right, next. What percentage of the data is below the upper quartile? What percent of the data is below the upper quartile? Where is the upper quartile? At what number?
22.
22. What percent of the data is below? So we have this piece, and 75% is correct. What percentage of the data is located between the lower quartile and the median? What percent is between the lower quartile and the median? Right in here is 25%. What percentage of the data is above the median? What percent is above the median? So here's the median. That would be this piece and this piece, which makes up 50%. Any other questions? Okay. The next assignment that I'm going to give to you is a sheet. Okay? At this time, I want you to get on Canvas for me, please. Get on Canvas. Unit 4. Lesson 4. Unit 4, Lesson 4. Unit 4, Lesson 4. Are we there? Okay, then we're going to go right here to where it says Day 2, Practice B Worksheet. Day 2, Practice B Worksheet. Click on it. Okay. As you work through the sheet today, you're going to answer it on the paper, and you're also going to put the answer in the computer. When you are finished answering all the questions, at the very end, Canvas will tell you what your score is. There are 17 total questions, so it will tell you you made a 15 out of 17. You know how it does after you take a quiz. You're going to write that score at the very top of your worksheet when you're done. And you'll put your worksheet in the third period tray when you finish. Do you understand? Okay, I'm getting ready to give you the sheet. And it follows with the quiz that's on Canvas. It's just the questions typed in. Okay? All right.